Can babies learn multiple languages from birth? This is something I've been thinking about, reading about, and studying a lot recently because I'm an expecting parent. My son is going to be born in a couple of months, and so I've really been looking into this, especially since my wife and I don't speak the same language natively. So I'm going to share a few thoughts, a bit of research, and a few insights I think we can get from this learning about how babies learn languages, things we might apply to our own, for example, English language learning journey. If you haven't already done so, I would really appreciate if you would hit the like button, of course only if you enjoy the video, and feel free to subscribe. And now let's get into it. Can babies learn 2 languages natively from birth? Would they be at a developmental disadvantage if they did that? And the science is quite clear. The science is no, there are no disadvantages. There might be some apparent disadvantages early on, but in the long run, absolutely not. In fact, there's pretty clear evidence that there are advantages to being able to natively speak 2 languages from birth. So my first language is English, and so I will be responsible for that when my son is born, talking a lot, naming things, explaining what I'm doing, right? There's in a book I'm reading right now, it's called the Sportscaster way of talking. Everything you do, you say out loud. I'm moving you here. I'm doing this. I'm changing your diaper, that sort of thing, right? You say everything as a way to develop language skills and tell stories. But then my wife, who speaks Chinese natively, she will speak Chinese all the time. And so from birth, he will grow up learning 2 separate things. Now, what identifies a language phonetically, because babies are they're not looking at dictionaries like, I'll translate this from baby to English and figure out what this means. They're learning from scratch, from sound, and the thumbprint of the language is its phonemes. Each language has its own fingerprint or thumbprint, and that is its phonetic thumbprint. English has 44, Chinese has less, but I don't know how many, I can't remember. But Chinese also has intonation, 4 main tones in, for example, Mandarin, standard Mandarin Chinese. So there are a lot of things to pick up, but those are also differentiators that label it as 2 separate things. And so they grow up learning all of the words and they never get confused. They know what's Chinese and what's English. There's no confusion. So confusion is not an issue. And again, this has been pretty thoroughly scientifically established. Where you see some apparent disadvantages would be when the baby is a certain age, and let's say they know 20 words. They might know 10 words in English and 10 in Chinese. So it could look like, if you're saying, how's their English development? Maybe another baby the same age, child the same age, knows 20 words. And so you'd say, oh, my child only knows 10. He's behind. Oh, no. Okay, but that's a short-term disadvantage in one language. Actually, they know 20, but they know it in 2 languages, right? And so, and in the long term, they'll learn all of the vocabulary. It's not a long-term disadvantage. It's a short-term thing. So that's why my wife and I are going to be teaching 2 languages from birth, and we're going to separate it clearly into I speak English, she speaks Chinese, very clearly. For things we need to talk about together, that will be in English. And we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. I'm really interested to see how it's going to work out.